So movement and stillness. And we're all going to start at the beginning of the class lying onto the back. By taking hands behind the back of the head, sometimes they don't quite reach to the floor. So it's nice to have a blanket or a pillow behind the back. So not your head on it, but in that position. So when we're taking up the arms back, it can have a little bit of support if need be, if it doesn't quite reach it to the ground. Or if your arms reach all the way, and then just have the blanket by your side. So it's lovely lying down onto your back. Keep your knees bent, but I want you to have your knees together and your feet apart, and your arms just rest by your side. So it's lovely the comfort of your knees being supported. But see if you can have the outer edges of your feet on the outer edges of the mat. It's almost a sense of balance, of not having your knees too far one side to the other. Connection of the whole back surface of your shoulder blades onto your mat. The whole back of your body. So there'll be a soft space through the lumbar part of your spine from the mat, with the connection of the back of your hips, upper part of your spine. And then take your eyes to stillness. The stillness of your eyes, just the soft sealing of your lips. And of course, listening to your breath. And the listening to your breath allows for ease of the direction, the fullness of your breath. Your body, your breath, your mind. And the body, the movement with, see the body, the movement with strength and stillness. With your breath, the ins and the outs. Your mind, present, alert, but at ease. Gently place your palms onto your thighs. Also a little bit of a squeezing. Your hands traveling up and down. A little bit of massage and awareness of your upper thigh muscles. And then as you're ready, bring your arms up to vertical. So your fingers are up, the top of your arm bones are down. And now hold on to your opposite elbow. And with your next in-breath, take your hands behind your head, either onto, if that's uncomfortable, you can keep your arms straight. But having your hands, your forearms either onto the mat, pillow, or blanket. With the arms behind the head, the ease of your breath to pour deep. You're landing the expansion of the pit of your arms, the side of your ribs, pouring right to the end of your breath to your bottom of your lungs, even your belly button expanding. As you draw your next breath in, bring your arms back up to vertical. And then hug your knees into your chest. And just a little bit of movement. Knees forward, back, out, in. And then lift your legs up to vertical. So as your legs are vertical, it allows the settling the whole back of your hips. Take your arms up to vertical. So it's a mirror. Lifting of your legs, lifting of your arms. Have a full breath in the verticalness. And on your exhale, take your fingers up towards your toes. Your head will come off the mat. You're activating of your core. And then on your inhale, drawing your head back down. Keep your feet still flexed, your legs activated. We'll do it 2 more times. So stay settled onto the mat with your in-breath. And exhale, reaching up. The compression through your core with your exhale. And then with your inhale, settling down, filling of your body. And on your exhale, reach up. Keep reach up. Keep your fingers up for your next in-breath. For your next exhale. And then with your in-breath, head down, knees to your chest, a little bit of rocking side to side. So place your feet down, keep your knees bent. And I want you to take your hands so that they're fists. So curling your fingers into the palms of your hand. And bring your feet together. So your feet are together, your knees are together. And then place your fists right onto your outer connection of your thigh bone to your hip socket. Tuck them in. And then from here, I want you to take your knees apart and the soles of your feet together. And then just notice how your fists sort of support lifting up the hips. So you've got that opening. Stay as you are for an in-breath. And on your exhale, draw your knees back together. And take your fists just a little farther apart or away from your hips. And with your in-breath, open your knees out to the side again to Buddha Konasana. Now, where your fists are, do they support your hips enough so there's no strain on your inner thighs? Stay as you are for that lovely in-breath. And with your exhale, draw your knees back together. And then take your fists a little farther away from your hips. And with your next in-breath, open your knees again to Buddha Konasana. Now, are your fists giving enough support, or do you need them a little bit farther in or a little bit farther out? Just to the place that you've got the opening of your inner thighs, but you have the support. And even though your hands are into little fists, make sure that they're soft. And see with your exhales, have a little bit of a sigh with the exhales, if you can soften the tightness of those muscles with the inner thighs. And again, as you know, you can always make little adjustments if it feels like it's starting to be a little bit too much of a tug, or they seem to be opening a little more, so adjust the position of your fists. And then allow your breath to travel in and traveling out. Now place your palms on your outer thighs and press your knees together, knees to your chest, and the movement. And then bring yourselves to sitting upright. And so you can roll to the side or bring yourselves upright. And then your blanket or your pillow, just sit onto it, just to give yourselves a little bit of lifting. And have your legs either crossed in a position of comfort, or as you know, you can extend them forward. And palms draw your buttocks back. Placing your thumbs onto the pit of your arms to lift yourselves up. And then your hands back onto your thighs and your shoulders descend. So lifting through the outer surface of your body, but ensuring that your shoulders are heavy and down. And then your eyes close and your breath. Listening and directing. Place your fingertips now onto the floor or onto your mat. The pads of your fingers pressing down to ensure the lifting. And then draw your left ear to your left shoulder. So, of course, your right fingers are away, but your left fingers are firmly pressing down to ensure the verticalness of the left side of your body. And breathe. Any adjustments with the position of your chin and your ear, so you have the opening of the real tight spot. And enjoy your breath. Breath in. And breath out. With your next in-breath, bring your head back up to center. Position your fingers with your hands so it's equally pressing down, right to left. And then change sides. Listen your ear to your opposite shoulder. Fingers pressing down, lifting up, and your left fingers away. Your body, your alignment. The alignment of the verticalness of the spine, lifting sides of your body. Adjustment with the position of your ears, your chin. And of course, in this pose, the loveliness of your breath. On your next in-breath, bring your head back up to vertical, and then just softly roll your shoulders. So as before, have your fingertips down, pressing down to sit tall. And as before, take your left ear to your left shoulder, right fingertips out, and then take your left hand onto your head. So it's a combination of supporting of your head, maybe encouraging a little bit more opening, more of a sense of supporting of your head so that there's no strain on the side of your neck, depending how long your neck is today. There's something about the comforting of your hand, and the comforting of holding of your head. Sometimes that just in itself allows a little bit more ease. And how's your breath? Now, the assistance of your hand, bring your head back up to vertical. Lower your arm down and roll your shoulders. And then we'll change sides. So, left fingers out, drawing your right ear to your right shoulder, and then your hand, supporting, comforting, encouraging, but supporting. And the adjustments. And a little check. Are you still sitting tall? Your sitting bones are down, your spine is long, the side of your neck is open. And as before, direct your head back up to center. Place your hand down and roll your shoulders. Take your legs out, and I just want you to sway your knees side to side. Just a little bit of rocking. And then cross your legs the opposite way. So it's often the way that we're not used to. So allows yourselves more of a balance. And there'll be a very subtle weight more onto each of your sitting bones, onto one side than the other. So see if you can sort of neutralizing of your hips. And bring your palms together at heart center. Interweave your fingers and press them away. And then the lifting of your arms up to vertical, pressing your palms a little more so. And then take your hands to the back of your neck. And in doing so, the heels of your hands almost encourages your skull to lift up a little more. With your exhale, draw your chin towards your chest, the cradling of your palms to the back of your head to support and encourage. And then with your in-breath, lifting of your chin up. Again, your palms supporting the back of your neck, lengthening of your throat. And then with the breaths, let's change. So on your exhale, chin towards your chest, even tucking your elbows in. And then with your in-breath, the lifting of your chin and opening your elbows a little more so. And do it a few more times. It's the support of your hands for the opening of the neck. And as you know, where we hold the tightness is through the neck and the shoulders. And then with your next complete exhale, inhale, take your hands down to your thighs, lift your head, and roll your shoulders a few times. We take ourselves from here into, we're going to table pose. So table pose, and as you know, the initial alignment. So we have knees hip distance apart. Look between your knees, and you shouldn't be able to see your feet. If your feet are too close together or too far apart, you've taken away the direction of your hips from the top of your thigh bone to your knees. And then check your hands. Again, you can always go into your fists if it's uncomfortable with your wrists. The fingers flared open, eyes closed, and then the simplicity of cat and cow. Then slowly, so in breath is the initial breath and lifting with your chest. And then your exhale, your first exhale for your shoulders to slide apart, your lower back softly lifting. And then that movement. And then with the complete of your next exhale, bring your spine back to vertical, to horizontal. Now from here, keep your hands pressing down and lift and extend your left leg behind you. So as your left leg is horizontal, more weight onto, of course, your left hand, extend your right arm forward. And see if you can hold the stillness. So either a soft gaze onto your mat, or maybe your eyes closed. Your right big, top of your, I'm going to say the front surface of your big toe. So your right foot is down. Press firmly onto your big toe. Gives a little bit more neutralizing, settling, and balance. Full breath in. Breath out. And then place your right hand down, bending of your left knee. I want you to just do big, lovely circles. And actually, let's do circles both directions. And the next time your leg is extended behind you, I want you to just take the ball of your foot down and stretch your calf. So your palms press down, but also slightly away. Your heel towards the back of the mat. And see if you can have the connection of all 5 pads of your toes on your left foot. So opposed to your ankle collapsing in or out, it's that direct line. Now, slightly bend your knees so you can bring your hands a little farther back. We're going to go into downward facing dog. So downward dog, firmly pressing down all 4 sides of your palms, even the pads of your fingers. Lift your right knee up into downward dog and going for a little bit of a walk. So if it's uncomfortable with your wrists or it doesn't feel right today, you can always keep your knees down. Or up. And sometimes it's nice, as you know, the first downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, can be a little bit shorter. More ease of directing your heels towards the mat. And they might not reach. That's okay. Now, as you draw your next breath in, lift your heels up as high as you can. So you can almost go onto the tips of your toes to give more lifting, active energy through your thighs. And on your exhale, steer your heels down towards the mat. So it's like your sitting bones down, back of your legs towards your heels to the mat. And then lower your knees down and take yourselves back into child's pose. And in child's pose, turn your palms up, movements of your fingers, and your head just hangs. Take that weight off the wrists. And then shift yourselves forward to go back into table pose. From here, this time, extend your right leg behind you. So as you know, just a reminder, your right toes are pointing down. So you've got that neutralness through the back of your hips, your gaze down. So you have the equal length of the front and the back of your neck, and then slowly extending your opposite arm forward. So you've got that whole connection of your left shin, top of your left foot down, just the same as your right hand is pressing down. Your arm is extended, your leg is long. Maybe your eyes are closed. Make sure your belly isn't dropping. Taking sort of the front of your body to the back of your body for that stability. And enjoying your breath. Breath, balance, strength, and stillness. And then place your hand down. With your knee bent, your right knee bent, do those lovely big circles. As you know, washing both ways with the knee. It's just that nice weightless movement through your hip. And then extend your leg behind you. Place the ball of your foot down. And the initial lengthening. So it's not just the lengthening of the calf. It travels sort of the back of your hamstrings, calf, your Achilles tendon, heel to the sole of your foot. And so if you can keep the back of your leg long and lift yourselves back up into a downward facing dog, or whichever variation. Your knees can be down. You can even have your knees really softly bent. Just find that position, going for a little bit of a walk. Sometimes it's even nice swaying of your hips side to side. Giving your body a little bit more length through the torso.
And then peek to the front of the mat and just slowly walk forward to the front of the mat. And at the front of the mat, please hold onto your opposite elbows and place your forearms onto your, just above your knees, just to give a little bit of support, and then give your head a little shake, shake. And place your hands onto your hips. Knees stay soft and hinge to standing upright. And then give your body a little shake, shake. Take yourselves into Tadasana. So I want your feet to be hip distance apart, your toes forward. And see if you can flare your toes open just as you do with your hands. Now standing tall, all four sides of your feet rooted, lifting through your body, lift your shoulders to your ears. Give yourselves that growing. And staying tall, your shoulders descend down. Your palms just softly towards the front of your mat and your eyes closed. So actually I want you to move your chin a little forward and back and just sort of find the neutralness of the spine. Often we have a habit of it dropping too far forward. So drop back enough that there's a wall behind you. And then just softly rock your ears shoulder to shoulder and find where center is. And sometimes for many, one ear tends to flop a little bit more to the shoulder. So see if you can have the whole, all four sides of your neck vertical, strong. Softly bend your knees. And I want you to sweep your arms up to the sky. With your exhale, reach your arms forward, right down to the mat, and sweeping your fingers to the back of the mat. And now with an inhale, let's do our lovely sweeping, arms forward, up to the sky, and straightening of your legs. And let's do a few more sweeping. So exhale, knees are bent, arms forward, down, and back. And inhale, lifting, straightening, extending. And then again, shrinking, lowering, and sweeping. Lift your arms up to vertical. This time, palms together and down to heart center. Keep your palms together, but lift them up to the sky. Then bend your elbows and hinge yourselves all the way down. Hands onto your shins or your thighs. Let's do 3 lovely half lifts. Lifting up halfway, spine long. Exhale, just a sense of melting. All of those muscles release. And then with your inhale, bring up that energy, lifting up halfway, shoulder blades back, neck long. And then back down. Let's do one more lovely half lift up, front and back of your body, extend it forward, and bend down. Hands onto the mat or your firm blocks. Step your right foot right to the back of the mat. Big long step back. And lower your knee down and untuck your toes. So as we're folded forward, it's a great opportunity of ensuring that your shin is vertical and the top of your left thigh bone is tucked back. And then hands onto your knees, press your knee down to bring yourselves into a lunge. So again, just as we had done before, I want you to have more weight dominantly onto your right big toe. Just make sure that your heel doesn't flop out to the side. Shoulders down. Stay as you are for a lovely in-breath With your exhale, fold back forwards, your torso towards your thigh, your head hangs. In breath, straighten your arms to lift yourselves up, and holding up, can either keep your hands onto your thigh or bring your palms together at heart center, directing all four sides of your palms in. You can always keep your hands onto your knee. It just gives you a little bit more opening and not take your attention more to balance. And then either hands onto your knees, palms together at heart center, or arms up to vertical. If you take your arms up to vertical, ensure that they're shoulder distance apart. And then we're going to sweep. So with everybody, lifting of your chest, and exhale. Torso towards your thighs, hands down and back, or keep them onto your knee. Inhale, sweep yourselves up to vertical. Release your spine, growing. And then let's sweep again. Down, back. Arms stay strong. And then let's fly up one more time. And hold yourselves in this pose. Your palms can stay together, hands onto your knees, or up to vertical, but hold this. Again, ensuring your hips are neutral, but smoothing out of your hip flexor. Even taking just below your belly back towards your spine, so you've got that strength through your torso and that lifting. Yeah. Everybody have hands onto your front knee. And then take your right hand down to the mat. We're going to do a bit of a twist. So slowly turning your torso over towards the left. And again, whichever variation with this twist. Keep your hands onto your knees, lower back, maybe arms up to vertical. Just sort of find that gives you that opening, but without putting any strain through your torso. Your hip flexor is still long. Take your hand back onto your knee and take yourselves right back into the lunge that we had before. And now we're going to go into a side lean. So take your left forearm onto your left thigh. And sweep your right arm up to vertical, and then give yourselves a side lean. Just giving your extension sort of, I'm going to say starting at your right hip flexor, and then wrapping around through the side of your body. Giving that lengthening. And then come down. Hands onto your mat. And just straighten your front leg. Drawing the sole of your foot off the mat. And we're going to do a little bit of a sweeping. So with your in-breath, place your sole of your foot back down and your knee, your left knee bends a little. And then drawing back. So maybe giving more space between your sole of your foot and your mat. And let's do one more sweeping. So your torso towards your thigh, your hip flexor long. And then into reverse. And holding of the reverse. So your hands can be onto the firm blocks, your knuckles, your palms. Actually, I'm going to say either your knuckles or your firm blocks, just to ensure that there's no collapsing of your lower back. And as you know, you're plugging the top of your left thigh bone into hip socket. And listen to your body. So there might be a very gentle bending of your extended front leg or long. If it's really open, just ensure you're not hyperextending. Your head can just stay soft. Keep your legs extended, and we're going to do a twist. So take both of your hands to your outer left front leg. So again, the firm blocks, if you don't already have them, actually can make this a little bit more ease. So in doing this, it allows more ease of the top of your left thigh bone into hip socket just with the turning. sort of spreading out the opening of the back of your hamstring. Not just the center. It's called the pit of your hamstrings, but that whole back surface. Bring yourselves back to center and bend your front knee, just as it had been before. We're going to go into lizard. So walk your front foot to the outer edge of the mat. And so if you can still have that verticalness of your shin, hands onto the firm blocks or not, open your knee to the side. So the sole of your foot perhaps will be off the mat. Lizard's pretty deep. So opposed to dropping as much as you can, just slowly, almost like with that sweeping, slowly starting to lower. And with your in-breath, filling of your body. And exhale, descending. Draw your knee back in. Tuck your back toes under. And the firm blocks can be quite helpful. Pick your back knee up and step yourselves forward to the front of the mat. So your feet will still be on the outer edge of the mat, and just sway your hips side to side. Bring yourselves back to center and walk your feet together. No, not together, shoulder distance apart. Let's try this again, hip distance apart. Hands with the firm blocks or on towards your shins. A lovely half lift up. And exhale down. And step your left leg back and lower your knee down. Untucking of your toes. So again, you're here, directing verticalness of the shin, neutralizing of hips. Torso on towards your thighs. So you can sort of focus from your waist down. You can place your hands onto your knee to lift yourselves up for just a very supported low lunge. And G-Stringmasana. Keep your torso long. In breath, lift your chest a little more so. And exhale, torso down towards your thigh and your head just hangs. In breath, lift yourselves up again. Keep your hand onto your knee or your palms together at heart center. Ensure there's no collapsing of your lower back. Exhale, bring your torso back down towards your thigh, hands just holding onto your knee. And then with in-breath, press your knee down, lift yourselves up, palms together, or perhaps fingers up towards the sky. And so as always, from the ground up, connection of your shin, sole of your foot, length of your torso, strengthness of your hips, growing long. And then let's sweep one more time. Fingers forward, down, and back. Hands either onto your knee or up to the sky. Sweep and lift them. This is a lovely pose of blending together stillness, strength, balance, and of course, breath. One One more time, arms up to the sky, hold them long, breathing in. And then on your exhale, fingers down and slowly straighten your front leg, toes up towards the sky. And we'll do a little bit of movement. So stay as you are, big breath in, leg long and straight. And then on exhale, bend your front knee, foot down. Let's do it again. Straightening your front leg, toes up towards the sky. Even more so, plugging connection thigh bones to hips. Sliding forward. And then glide back. Toes to the sky, head heavy, hands supported by the mat or the blocks. And keeping your leg extended, straight and strong, twisting of your body over towards the right. So again, firm blocks. A little bit of turning through the torso, only going as far as you have the opening, but it's not feeding in the strain. So sort of find that neutralness of ease and lengthening. Bring yourselves back to center. We're going to go into lizard. So front knee bent, and then walking your foot to the outer edge of the mat. And doing so, knee out towards the side. Support, and you'll notice one side might be tighter than the other. So just take yourselves to, there's a point that you're feeling the opening, a little bit of resistance, and then go no farther. Just breathe. And again, whichever variation. Eyes closed, focusing just on you. It's like having a private one-on-one class. Let's come out of lizard, and all I want you to do is take your right foot back and go into the lovely child's pose. So head to the mat, the block, or even your hands, one fist on top of the other. Just allow yourself to be at ease and have your hands back whenever it feels right. And all the opening of the hip flexors are now soft. How's your breath? Enjoying the stillness of your body, stillness of your mind, but movement of your breath. And allowing all of your muscles, from your toes to the crown of your head, to be at ease. And then bring yourselves up to sitting upright. If you have a mat, or have one of these days, you have a strap, have your strap with you, and sitting down with your legs extended forward. So have your firm block by your side, if need be. We're going to go into Janu Shavasana. So scoop your hands under the back of your, we'll go with left knee, pick it up,
And then placing the sole of your foot to your inner thigh, or your inner calf, or your inner thigh, and using the firm block for whichever support. It might reach down to the ground. That's how it feels right. You might need a little bit of lift, quite a bit of lift support. And then take the strap and look at underneath the ball of your foot. So it's nice with your hand underneath the ball of the foot. It allows you to plug the top of your thigh bone into your hip socket to bring them back into neutral. So ensure you have a full ease through the left side of your body. Ensure that the back of your right leg is flat and just hinge yourselves forward. Hands perhaps will walk up the strap a little bit, still tugging. More directing your torso towards the thigh than your nose towards your knee. Finding the center opening. Ease and opening. Now in doing so, often a pose, the knee sort of pops up a little bit. See if you can flatten the back of your leg. Now there will still be a little bit of space at the back of the knee, not forcing it down, but more encouraging. So sometimes having to come up a little bit just to ensure your leg is flat and maybe not going over very far. Find a place that there's a vacuum connecting the whole back of your leg to your mat. It's neutral. And the rest of your body to be at complete ease. And bring yourselves back up to sitting tall. And place your hand on your left knee. So draw it in. And slide your legs forward and down. And then I'll just get you to change the sides of the strap. Firm block on other side. Your hands scooping at this time your right leg up so that it's completely at ease. You're placing it into spots, but there's no tightness that's built up through your thigh. And again, it can be onto your inner calf or your inner thigh. Support whatever is needed. Again, the strap, tighten it up back to allow your hips to neutral. Chest open. And then slowly, not diving, but slowly folding forward. And as the back of your leg is flat and long, it sort of shares the stretching, not just the back of your hamstring, but with your foot flexed, back of the leg down, it allows that whole length of the back of your leg to soften, maybe feeding in the top of your thigh bones to your hip socket towards your buttocks. Just ensure it's complete ease to your body and the lengthening and freedom of the back of your extended front leg. Bring yourselves back to sitting tall. And just takes the strap off to the side. Hand direct your knee in. Lower your leg down. And a little bit of padding at the back of the knees. And I'll get you to lie down onto your back. So lying onto your back,
Knees in towards your chest. Distance of your hands and moving your knee side to side and all around. And keeping your knees bent, feet down. I'm going to go into thread the needle. So if need be, your strap is by your side. Now, having your right ankle into your left knee and your hand directing of your right thigh away. So keeping your body long. And then place your hands or a strap behind the back of your left leg. So in doing so, ensure that your left shin is horizontal. Sometimes in a pose like this, the heel drops down. So I want that 90 degrees, horizontalness, shin, verticalness of thigh. Right elbow, ensuring that your right thigh isn't sneaking in, keeping that open. Just the ease. Keep your legs in this position. And take your arms out to the side. We're going to do a twist. So staying in thread the needle, twist over towards the left. So perhaps a firm block support. If it's a little bit too much of a twisting, then just have your knees together, inner edges of knees together for a twist. If thread the needle twist is just a little too much. Or sometimes even your blanket. Remember at the beginning we used fists. Sometimes even taking your left fist and tucking it into the side of your thigh bone. Just sort of find the opening of the twisting without too much strain into your right hip flexor. And then unwind. Lift your legs up to vertical. A little bit of a walk. Maybe even walking backwards, moving of your knees, movement opposites. And then settle your feet down onto the mat. Have a full breath in. And a complete breath out. And we'll change sides. And this time your left ankle into your right knee. Moving of your thigh away. Settling that surface of your shoulders onto your mat. And then either a strap or fingers behind the back of your thigh. If you're interweaving your fingers, interweave them the funny way. And then just enjoying. Having your hands either holding either the strap or the back of your leg, but just gently hold it, not gripping, not forcing. Having a complete passiveness and direct your opening through your hips and your buttocks. And by keeping your right shin horizontal, thigh, vertical. It's almost like when we did this sitting in a chair. It's just this, the opening, and that your foot doesn't drop down. always a check. And often now is the time busy gets mind, mind gets busy, and bring it back to here now on your mat, your body. Little scanning where there's tightness, where there's resistance. Scanning of your mind. Is it busy and away or calm and at ease? Sometimes it's just the traveling of the breath that brings the ease of into this moment. Release your arms to the side. Take yourselves into a twist forward towards the right. Either using a firm block, arms not crossed. Remember, care for your ribs. Ensure it's not too much of a strain. So whichever variation works best. Yeah, a twist is always the most lovely element of the pose at the end of the class. Any of the tightness that builds through the spine, feeds to the hips. Just the soft turning releases that tightness. And of course it's nice with the effortlessness of just the turning of your body. And then let's all unwind. Again, feet up to the sky, doing that lovely little walking. And we're going to get ourselves ready for Shavasana. So have your blanket nearby. Choose to drape it over. It's often quite nice before Shavasana is to go into Happy Baby. So Happy Baby is your hands between your knees. A couple of options. You can hold onto your outer calves, ankles, sometimes your feet. Just enough that you have that ease at the whole back of your head. There's the rocking on the back of your ribs. So just find whichever variation. And it's the Happy Baby sense of a cradling, a rocking before disappearing into Shavasana. So whenever you're ready, lower your legs down. Blanket or not, perhaps pillow behind the back of your head, whichever gives that comfort. And as you know, your feet more so to the outer surface of your mat. Your ankles are lazy, so they're open. Allow your legs to be heavy and at ease. Checking that your shoulder blades are resting. Your neck is long. So ensure that there's a natural extension through your spine. Ensure that one ear hasn't been drawn closer. Just finding that center back spot at the back of your head. As you know, your hands are free. Nothing onto your palms but air. And breathe and settle. And traveling from movement to stillness to mind, ease, and settled. Slow movements of your toes and your fingers. Keeping the skin upon your face soft and still. Just the traveling of your breath. A few more generous full breaths in, complete breaths out. And then as you're ready, just roll onto your right side, knees in towards your chest, head supported. And then slowly press your left hand down to bring yourselves into sitting upright. Have your blanket over your thighs. Sometimes it's nice under your buttocks. Hands rest onto your knees. And with always, lift your shoulders up, slide them back and down, sitting tall and strong. And bring your palms together at heart center, and in so the soft bowing of your head, bowing to the light within. Your body, breath, and mind. You know the body is movement and stillness, strength and ease. Breath is deep and pure, slow and steady. Mind is still and alert, clear, open, free, and all the harmony of body, breath, and mind. I wish you namaste.